Hello and good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You see, I have a new little sacred space here. It's kind of exciting. I've had this chair for quite some time. You can see that it's most likely antique and broken. I don't know if you can see that area up there. That's good. I don't think you can. But it's perfect for this, and I appreciate the person who gave it to me who may be watching this video right now and maybe not. Um, but anyway, I do appreciate this chair a lot. But now it's going to be my desk for my cards. Um, I have one card already turned over. That's a card I chose myself from the deck. It's not a card I drew from the deck. These cards, I go through a certain kind of shuffling process, and I should show that to you one day. And I put them out. They do come out of the deck as I shuffle them a certain way. They're not cards that I pick, they're random. They come out as they come out. This one I chose today because it's a getting back to basics card. And I have been having a really hard time because I've lost some friends to COVID. I've had some really good friends that got really sick. A lot of them are better. But I've had several people that I know that have actually passed away. Um, most not anybody in my family as of yet, mostly coworkers from long ago, but there's still people that I love and care about and hold in my heart. So that's been difficult. And this is just the beginning, guys. So that's why I pulled this Get Back to Basics card. I have a dear friend who I consider to be a spiritual guide as well. I don't talk to her as much anymore because we live very far away from each other. Um, and we're on to doing different things now. Um, but once she told me something, and if it hadn't been her that told me, I don't know how I would have, if I would have even listened appropriately. Um, but she happened to be a person that had 5 kids that were just perfect. Like, only back talk to their daddy, like that. She had 5 sons, and they always did what she asked them to. And I'm laughing because I'm thinking all of the things I remember about them. Um, she was married when she was or she had her first baby when she was 14. Her husband was 16, and they came to be very successful people. She having her own business, and being a nurse practitioner, which is, to me, is actually more exciting than being a doctor. uh, anyway, one of the things she said to me, it sounded at the time, I was just like, is she really saying this? Because I considered her an intellectual, and I considered myself to be an intellectual at that time as well. Um, she said, we were talking about politics, and oh, we thought things were so terrible back then. Um, and she said, I always feel like if I have my own house in order, then everything's going to be okay. And I thought, is that selfish? Is that even thinking about your community? She's very community minded. She did a lot of volunteer work. She had her own business. Um, but I had to think about it, and I realized that getting back to basics does mean getting your house in order. And getting your house in order, even kings have to do that, can really be helpful. So I guess I went the long way around, but basically that's what the 8 of Wands is about. To me, I see them as brooms. Clean house. It's a very get back to basics card, and it's okay to hire a maid if you can afford to hire a maid, and your house needs to be cleaned. It's okay. Um, if you're not the person that cleans the house, you clean your little area, clean your bathroom, something little. It can make a big difference in your life, especially in these difficult times. And if you've cleaned your house, grow your garden. The only reason I'm like telling you this lesson today is because I'm having a really hard time, and it is what I need, and it's a simple thing. That's what I'm trying to say. So, how do we do this meditation? I will tell you how I intended it to go, and you can go from there. It's kind of like I'll give you the recipe, and then you can make of it what you will, because a lot of people do. So, I have these card toppers here. What I have, I guess maybe how much time have I can't even see. I think I'm going to show you all of them. This one is an amethyst. I hope I'm right. I hope I said that right. This is a honey citrine. This is a stone I found near a river with lots of stones like that. This is a tiger eye. I do believe I found that. Oh, I don't know. I either found it outside or I found it unpacking a box at work or something. This is my selenite. They grow in rods, so they look like these magic wands, and they can grow really long crystals. Chalcopyrite, which is actually copper ore. I don't know if you can see how. When I first got up this morning, I did charge these in water, and they can look really. Here's my turquoise, really shiny. This is just some driftwood I found on the beach, but I find it to be, well, it still has sand on it and stuff. It's just a really nice physical memory holder, I guess. Okay, so I guess we're going to start on your cards. And so if you pick so I guess I don't need to tell you more how to do this, although I haven't yet, so I guess I should. So you pick your card topper, that's your card of the day. Some people watch it at the beginning of the day so they can say, oh, I might have a chance to do this today. Like I got the King of Swords, and maybe I'm going to have a chance to not be so arrogant today and step aside and let somebody else try. I think that was a message I gave recently, maybe yesterday, maybe the day before. Or some people do it at the end of the day before bed, and they go, oh yeah, that happened today, or that's why that happened today, or there's a connection. Sometimes they don't resonate with you, and that does happen. If they do resonate with you, that's wonderful. If they don't resonate with you, try picking another group, or try choosing with, well, I mean, it could be it's not for you. That's the other thing. This isn't for everybody. So we're gonna lift up the card under the tiger eye, and we'll talk about this card next. I'll hold it up to the camera so that you can see it closely. And right there, one's in the Six of Pentacles. And we'll put him right there on top of that card, and we will talk about the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is, you can see this man, he's got sacks of money. He also has a scale of justice. This card talks about charity and having, I don't want to talk about charity in the sense of money, okay? Even though this is kind of what it's talking about. We all know about that. We all know about getting socks and toothbrushes and sanitary napkins for the homeless and passing them out. I know several people who have decked out their traveling trailers so that the homeless can shower. We know about all kinds of charity. But what I'm talking about today is that you give to your church, or that you give to your friends, or that you give to your children, or that doesn't have to do with money, the time that you give, the ministry that you have. Maybe you mow the grass at your church, or maybe you mow your neighbor's grass because she's old and you know that she has to pay someone to do it if you don't. That's the kind of charity I'm talking about. Take some time today, if this is your card, and do something special for someone. Do it anonymously if you can. Um, I try not to tell you to do anything that I can't do or that I won't be doing in the same day. So that's something I'm going to have to think about because I don't go out into the world much. I do this, but this is an intention that I set that I would do it every day, um, as long as I could, especially during the great sickness. Um, so I don't count this. This is something else. I mean, over and beyond what you do every day. So if you have this card today, I would like you to consider doing something in particular for someone, ministering to them, making a meal for someone um, who's usually making meals for other people. Maybe could be anything. Be creative. We're gonna pick up the card that's under the selenite, and I will hold it up close to the camera so that you can see it, and you can see that that is the Four of Wands. We've got the wands again. I'm gonna put this over here. I'm hoping you can see all this. Okay, now my cat's asking me to go outside. My goodness. Okay. You see there's a, oh, it's, I'm having trouble seeing it way over there. Okay. So you see there's these people here, and it looks like they're working on grapes. Maybe they're taking the grapes off of the vines. But they seem to be working together in a friendly manner, that they're enjoying each other's company. They're near their home. They have a canopy above them, so they're sitting in the shade. Um, Basically, it's a card about hope and unity, especially family unity, but not always family. It's also a card about having the tools you need to do creative things and to create the finer things in life. They're making wine. Um, if you're moving forward somewhere, if you have a goal that you're moving towards, this is a card that if you get today, I would take a look around and make sure there's not an open gateway somewhere for you to go through right now in your, why am I putting this card down? In your endeavors. Um, oh, it's also a card of homecoming. You know, I would say I'm trying to tie these cards in together some because some people do choose more than one card. Some people choose all four cards, and that is not something I don't usually tie them in together. And when I'm reading a personal reading, I will put a card down and then we'll clarify it with the other cards. And that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing a one card pick. But if I were to link these two together, I would say that that definitely doing something for someone, but also spending time with them as a friend. Maybe it's a phone call that needs to happen today to someone who needs it. There are a lot of lonely people in the world right now. There always are. But it's a lot worse because of how things are. It's so hard for people to get together now. The Five of Wands. Look at all these people. It looks like there's one guy who's kind of like opposing the rest of them. I'm not real sure that's what's going on. It does have to do with like debate and quarrels sometimes, but it also has to do with working together, um, or working as a team. Sometimes it looks like someone's going the other direction, but really they might just have a good idea they're trying to share and show. I'm going to go ahead and set it up there so we can talk about it a little bit more. Um, this card can be about a challenge or a conflict. And actually, if I remember correctly, I did draw this card upside down today. So I do think it is more about a little conflict in your group project, or um, rather than solution. So if this is your card today, I would just say continue to be patient and work things out with your team. If I were to tie it into here, I would just say be patient and creative in the way you do your charity work today. And now we're going to turn over the card that's under the turquoise. This card I do believe I drew upside down today also. It is the Two of Wands. We have a lot of wands today. Wands are tools. So you can see this guy is looking at a small globe in his hand. It looks like he's planning to travel. I'm going to put him up here right now. Got him. So yeah, if you have this card today, he's weighing things out one way or the other. It often is about travel, moving forward, but it's moving forward with caution. I feel like that's too far away. Would y'all please comment and let me know if these cards are too far away like this. Maybe I need to lower my camera or something. I don't know. So it can be about travel, but it's also about caution, moving forward with caution. He's planning his trip before he goes. I know most of you do. I'm not always that kind of person. Sometimes I get in the car and go. Um, that's the way I was brought up. Um, look to your past experiences to plan for the future. I know a lot of times that we say leave your baggage behind, and so you're like trying not to look to the past. But in this, you definitely don't want to throw away your past. You want to use it as a tool of experience so that you can move forward appropriately. In one of my other decks, this card is portrayed with a guy walking on stilts, so he's balancing somewhat precariously. Um, Another thing that he's doing is he's really thinking things out. So it is also a card of contemplation before movement. Um, you're on your way somewhere. You're planning something. You're getting ready to go. You're still in the planning stages today. And were I to tie all this in together, I would say plan more elaborately how to do your charity work. Um, that's what I have today. It's nice and sweet and simple. That's the way I drew the deck. I'm really happy and relieved in a way, but I know that we are going to have to talk about the hard stuff when it comes up. And I do intend to be as truthful and open and honest as possible, especially about what the cards are saying. Well, about everything, but about what the cards are saying. I don't want it to, I can't, I wouldn't lie to make it positive, is what I'm trying to say. Um, do call for private bookings. I do those. Look in my description of this video. You'll see my link tree. You'll see all kinds of ways to interact with me, including booking for a private reading on my website. I will tell you that my private readings are much more in depth, much broader, and we will be doing things like putting more cards down, integrating the cards that we put down more, answering questions. I can answer yes or no questions about anything. I've even done it about a car. I'm not a mechanic, so I wouldn't recommend you going by what your psychic says about your car or what your mystic says. That is not, I've just had people ask that, and I usually say, look, actually, I always say, you really need to talk to your mechanic about this. I'll tell you what the cards say because that's what you want to hear, but you need to talk to a mechanic. I've even told people that call and ask for relationship advice. Like, how does he feel about me? And I'll say, look, I'll tell you what the cards say, but you know who you should ask? It's him. Right? But I know there are times that we can't talk to the people that we're wanting to know about. Or maybe they're not talking to us. Maybe they're our kids. I know I've read. It's funny because I've taught all my kids how to read cards, and I'll get caught. Like I will read their cards for me, and sometimes the card like okay recently, I read my oldest daughter's cards, and it was because I was wanting to know something, just pretty much knowing how she was doing. But I started asking the cards personal questions about her, and they said, "You do not need to know this. This is not for you." And then she called me and she said that she said, "Oh, uh, my cards tell me you did a card reading for me." And I said, "Uh huh." And she said, "Well, what did it say?" And I said, "They said it was none of my business." So that happened. I mean, it's funny. It's funny the things that happen when you start realizing that magic is real, and it is. It is. You might not be able to prove it. There might be a lot of hoaxsters out there, but we are the masters of our own universe, and we do create our worlds, and we start with our homes. Um, so we're all in this together, guys. Thank you for being here for me, and I hope um, that this is a help to you, or at least an enjoyment or an entertainment. Thank you so much for being here. Love you. Bye. See you tomorrow.